Okay, good afternoon, students. We'll start the session now. Okay, what is the last topic we had discussed? What is the last topic?
Scope of management.
Scope of management. Okay. What are the scopes of management? Others can type in the chat box. What are the points we had discussed? What are the scope of management? Tell me one by one. Tell me one by one, ma. What are the scope of management? Why management is
Production
addition?
management.
Production management.
Production management system.
Okay. Hmm.
Marketing management.
Marketing management.
Financial management.
Financial management.
Personal management.
Personal management. Okay. For these departments interactions, we need proper management. If Gopi Arasan, do you want to say anything? Gopi Arasan, do you want to say the answer? Anything you want to say? Okay. Oh, yeah.
Already
You typed
tried
in the chat
to
box.
send.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Gopi Arasan.
Yes,
You have
ma'am.
typed in the chat box. Scope of management under that production, marketing, financial, and personal management we have discussed. Okay. So very good. Okay, let's move on to the today's topic. Okay, previously we had discussed about marketing, sorry, scope of management. So in that scope of management, we had discussed about production management, how the production management can be run, can be function in an organization, and what are the production system, and what is marketing management, and what are the activities that could be taken place in marketing management, and financial management, and finally personal management. So these are the things to maintain these departments properly. We need proper management. So these are the scope of management. And we'll move on to the next topic. Today we are going to discuss about 14 principles of management. The main heading is principles of management. The author is Henry Fayol. He propounded this 14 principles. So these are, yes, you can take down this. They have pen and note with you. They have a business management note, everybody. Yes, you can copy these points.
Yes, ma'am.
Henry Fayol's 14 Principles of Management. Henry Fayol is the author name. The heading is Principles of Management. We will have 14 Principles of Management, and this is very, very important university repeated 10-mark question. So I request all the students to write down this subpoints, 14 subpoints. Number 1, can someone read it? Others can write down. Can someone write down what are the 14 points?
Ma'am, let me.
Yes.
I'll read. Division of work,
Hmm.
authority and responsibility,
Hmm.
discipline, unity of command, unity of direction,
Hmm.
subordination of individual interest, remuneration, the degree of centralization, line of authority or scalar chain, order, equity, stability of tenure of personal, initiative, esprit de corps or team
Okay, thank
spirit.
you, Manish. So these are the 14 points that we are going to discuss today. I will not take the entire 14 principles today. Today we will discuss only about first 5 principles of management. Division of work, authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command and unity of direction. And rest of the points we'll see in the next class, okay? Yes. Did you copy this 14 principles, students?
Once again, ma'am.
Finished? Say yes or no, ma.
No, ma'am.
Okay, I'll give you
No,
2
ma'am.
minutes
No,
time.
ma'am.
You can copy this. And mark down, this is very, very important.
No,
You
ma'am.
have to pick a 10-mark question. Mark it as very important 10-mark question. I'll read out. Number 1, division of work. Number 2, authority and responsibility. Number 3, discipline. Number 4, unity of command. Unity of command. Number 5, unity of direction. Okay, with this you can stop, and remaining points you can copy it by tomorrow. Okay, first 5 points alone you can take down. Did you finish the first 5 points, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay, the
ma'am.
first one. Is anyone, can you read the first point meaning, division of work? Anyone from the boys side? Anyone from the boys side? Can you read the first point?
I'll read it, ma'am.
Okay.
Division of work. Work should be divided among individuals and groups to ensure that effort and attention are focused on specific portion of the task. Fayol presented work specialization as the best way to use the human resource of the organization.
Okay, thank you, Manish. So the first principle, these 14 principles has been derived from the author Henry Fayol. So Henry Fayol is the father of father of management for many years. So he has derived this 14 principles of management. And under 14 principles, the first principle says that division of work. See how the management can have the principles. The first part is division of work. So division of work in the sense, whatever the organizational work can be there, it should be divided in among individuals and it could be given to the individuals. So here, work should be divided among individuals and groups to ensure that effort and attention are focused on special portions of the task. For example, every organization have the objective of making profit. How they are going to make profit? They're going to buy the resources and they're going to make the products and they're going to sell it and they're going to what analyze it, and finally they can recruit the employees, and finally they can sell all the products to the customers and they can able to make a profit. This is not an individual task. So the task will be the main objective of the organization will be to make a profit. How to make a profit? So the entire work can be divided into different individuals or different groups, maybe production group, marketing group, finance group, and HR group. So based on their educational qualifications, experience, the individuals can be grouped among them, and we can assign some duties to the individuals or groups. So the entire work can be divided and delegated to the employees. And Fayol presented work specialization as the best way to use the human resources of the organization. And some people, while HR manager is recruiting the employees for the organization, some people will be interested in technical aspect. Some people will be expertised in computer proficiency, and some people will be expertised in communication skills. So, based on communication skills, the person who may possess communication skill, he can be appointed, he can be allocated to the marketing departmental task. And the person who's technically good, he may get a chance to work with the production department. And the person who with computer proficiency, who is having such kind of knowledge, we can allocate the person in the software programmer, or we can use the person for web designer, whatever the designation we can create, we can offer to him. So based on the people's well-off, people's qualification, we are going to divide them and we are going to allocate the task to them. That is what your division of work. That is your first principle. The second one is authority and responsibility. Is anyone from the girl side? Can you read it? Authority and responsibility. Anyone from the girl side? Can you read it? Girls, are you there? Yes, you can read now.
The concepts of authority and responsibility are closely related. Authority was defined by Fayol as the right to give orders and the power to exact obedience. Responsibility involves being accountable and is therefore naturally associated with authority. Whoever assumes authority also assumes responsibility.
Okay, thank you. So the second principle says that authority and responsibility. From your point of view, what do you think about authority and what do you think about responsibility? Any guesses, my dear students? What is authority and what is responsibility? What do you think about that? Any guesses? What is authority and what is responsibility? Hmm? No guesses? Okay, I'll tell you. Authority, which relates to the powers given to the people. For example, the person, one who selected for the designation as HR manager, human resource manager. That is, for HR, being a HR manager, what are the rights he may have? Everything can be allocated to him. That is what authority, powers given to the HR manager. Whereas responsibility, by having such a power, what will be his responsibility? So he will be the responsible for human resource problems in the organization. He will be responsible for entire employees in the organization. So the word authority and responsibility cannot be separated to each other. It can be like coined two sides of a coin. One side is head and one other side is tail. No. Similarly, organizational authority and responsibility can have two sides. It cannot be separate from each other. If you have authority, definitely you will have responsibility. If you will have responsibility, definitely you may have such authority in doing the aspects. Okay, so this is what important in every organization, even though if it is a top level or middle level or low level, these authority and responsibility is important for each and every individuals who are working in the organization. So here, the concepts of authority and responsibility are closely related. That's why I'm saying it is like two sides of a coin. And authority was defined by Fayol as the right to give orders and the power to exact obedience. So the person, one who have the right to give order as a HR manager, he is having full rights to give orders, instructions to the employee, and power to exact obedience. So he has to make the employee to be obedient, to be honest in working with the organization. That is what power, that is what authority. And responsibility involves being accountable. Accountable in the sense, so far, how many works has been done and what will be the pending task. So as a HR manager, he has to analyze. As an organizational manager, he has to find out, based on the allocation of human resources in the organization, how many people have reached their targets, how many people are yet to reach the target, and how many people are not yet in the line. This is what accountable, it can be calculated by all the supervisors and all the managers, and is therefore naturally associated with authority. So if the person is having authority, definitely he will be responsible for his accountability of task by the individuals. And whoever assumes authority also assumes responsibility. That's why I said whoever is having authority, definitely such persons can have such responsibilities. Okay. And third one, discipline. The very important concept which will be liked by most of the students in today's situation, discipline. Yes. Anyone from the boys side, can you read it? Discipline. Anyone from the boys side, can you read it? I want boys to read it. Discipline. Anyone from the boys side? Boys side? Any disciplined boy can read. Yes. Boys, are you there? Can someone read? No? Boys? What happened to boys? Ah, yes.
Yes, ma'am.
May I know your name?
Discipline.
Kavin. Okay, Kavin. You can read.
Kavin, ma'am. A successfully organization requires the common effort of workers. Penalties should be applied judiciously to
Okay,
encourage
thank you,
this
Kavin.
common effort.
So discipline with regard to third principle by Henry Fayol says that a successful organization requires the common effort of workers. See how the organization can able to reach the success. It is the collective work of every individuals who are working in the organization. Until and unless every departmental employees cannot able to cooperate with the common objective of the organization, so we cannot able to achieve success in the organization. So it is a collective efforts by the individuals, and penalties should be applied judiciously to encourage this common effort. Penalties in the sense, if it is not that every organization can have rules and regulations and policies of their own, but it does mean that every employees are following line, or every employees are following the discipline, following the what rules and regulations given by the organization. No. Take an example of our institution. There are many rules, but how many students are following the rules? That is what moreover important in every organization. Say it is not that by framing sentences it is like a policy, it is like a rule. No, there is no use in it. It should be start practicing in it. If somebody is not in proper line, if goes beyond the line, then automatically management can have the rights to collect penalty from the employees. And so for that what mistakes, or for that not abiding the rules and regulations of the organization, the HR manager can have the rights to putting penalty on the problematic employee whoever created problem for the organization, and such penalty should be judiciously encouraged. If there is no punishment, if there is no penalty, then everybody will start enjoying and start misusing the policies of the organization. If we can make all the employees to be in proper line, we have to give such a penalty or such a punishment to the employee, so that employees can get much fear in going wrong ways out of the organizational activities. So this can be effort. So here discipline in the sense, for bringing the common efforts to bring the proper discipline, the organizational manager has to make all those things. Okay. And the next one, unity of command. Is anyone from the girls side? Can you read it? Unity of command. Anyone from the girls side? Unity of command.
Workers receive orders
Workers should receive.
from only one manager.
Okay, thank you. So unity of command in the sense, workers should receive orders from only one manager. So as I said earlier, there are three levels of management: top management, middle management, and low level management. In case of top level people, top level management, we supposed to have a chief executive officer, managing director, and general manager. In middle management, we may have different departmental heads and then supervisors, and finally we will have all the employees, all the staff members in the organization. So in this levels of management, all the instructions, all the directions, orders can be received from top to bottom. See, the top management has to frame such a policy. The administration people can able to make a policy, and whatever they frame, the management people, the management can start implementing the policies towards the organization. At last, every employee can able to implement the active actions into the organization. So here, unity of command in the sense, it is not that everybody can able to make a command. If you see the army, military forces, there is only one man who leads the entire team, and because of his common instructions, only everybody can able to follow in proper line. Take an example of cricket team or Indian cricket team. No, Recently, our MS Dhoni can retire his services because of his much efforts. He has got many fans.
Yes.
How he has got much fans? What is the reason behind this? Because of his leadership, because of his command. Everybody will
Hard work and effort, man.
get to watch. Is tell me. Someone has answered no. So because of his good style of leadership, because of his good commands, instructions, all the team members can able to cooperate with them. And finally, with the help of his captainship only, everybody will get much success throughout this Indian playing Indian crickets. So this is what very very important. So unity of command in the sense where there is only one boss, he has to start communicating, start instructing their employees in gentle manner, so that everybody will fall in proper line. So unity of command is another principle of management. So here workers should receive, all the workers in organization will have 3,000 employee or 4,000 employee, but there should be only one instructor or manager to communicate all the information. It does not mean that the manager directly go and meet all the individuals and communicate information. So it is not necessary. He has to arrange meeting for the middle managers, departmental heads. Through the heads meeting, he has to communicate the information. The general manager has to communicate the instruction, and departmental heads has to communicate all the necessary information to the employee. And finally, workers can receive only one instruction from only one manager. But directly manager will not communicate. He will arrange meeting for middle managers, and through middle managers, they will communicate information to the low level people, that is employees of the organization. And next one, unity of direction. Is anyone from the boys side? Can you read it? Unity of direction. Anyone from the boys side? Boys, are you there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Unity of direction. The entire organization should be moving towards a common objective in a common direction.
Okay, thank you. So unity of direction. See, all the employees should be work towards the common goal of the organization in achieving the common goal of the organization. So here, the entire organization should be moving towards a common objective in a common direction. So make the manager of a company will make all the employees, all the individuals, or all the group members should be focused on organizational profit. See how to bring about their profits by giving each departmental targets, by achieving each departmental targets. If all the department targets can be achieved, then it is easy to achieve the common targets and common objective of the organization. So managers must lead all the employees towards the right direction in the right way. That is what unity of direction. So with this, I'll stop here. And do you have any doubt in this? You can ask me now. If you have any doubt in this, you can ask me now. My dear students. Yes, any doubts? You can ask me now. Or you can type in the chat box. No doubts? Okay, Kavin, thank you. And Shweta, no doubts. Okay. Good. Okay, can anyone summarize what are the topics that we had discussed? What did you learn from today's class? Anyone? What did you learn today? Division of labor. Very good, Manish. Then we had discussed about 5 points. No. Yes, unity of command, division of work. Then what are the 3 more points we had discussed? Discipline. Okay. What is 2 more points? What are the 2 more points we had discussed about? unity of direction, authority and responsibility. Okay, good. See, we had discussed about 14 principles of management today. And with that 14 principles, today we were discussed about 5 principles. Number 1 is division of work, and then authority and responsibility, discipline, and then what? Unity of direction and unity of command. So these are the 5 points that we were discussed today. And this will be your important university questions too. Okay. So if you have any clarifications or any difficulties, okay, no difficulties. So are
No,
you
ma'am,
able to
no
follow my language?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. How was the class today? Can anyone give your feedback? Was it is okay or anything
Nice,
I
ma'am.
wanted to change?
Okay, ma'am. No need, ma'am.
Am I
You
going
can keep
very
going.
fast? Am I going very fast or is this level is okay?
This level
This
is
level is
okay.
okay, ma'am.
Am I covering all the points, all the explanations I had given? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, ma. Okay. Okay. Thank you, students. After this class, I'll post some discussion forum in the Moodle as an activity by today, and you can do it by tomorrow before tomorrow evening. Okay. You can get access in the Moodle immediately after this class or after 4 o'clock. I'll upload the one activity in the Moodle. Please do it. Don't get failed. Okay. Thank you, students. We shall wind up.
Ma'am,
Thank you very much.
4:30 class is there, ma'am. Bhaskar sir class is there, ma'am.
No, I'll upload the activity. You can do it before tomorrow 4 or 5 o'clock. You can do it by after
Okay,
6
ma'am.
or 7. I'll upload the activity after 4:30. Okay, ma'am. Thank you.